The census data is in for New York City, and the media kind of wants to justify everybody bouncing with some nonsense. We've got some really cool galactic discovery made over the past week. So that's pretty interesting. And we're going to talk a little bit of Marvel and what they're doing with their shows and filming, etc. Because with the strike going on, a lot of wild stuff is going on in terms of changing, restructuring, etc. So stay tuned. Interesting stuff. All right. Yeah, it's a Social Millennial Podcast. Y'all know what it is. We out here, gang. Thank y'all for spending this time with us. Thank y'all for coming back. Those of y'all returning, those of y'all who are new, again, thank you for taking the time out of your day, out of your night, out of your evening, out of your afternoon, out of your walk, out of your workout, out of your lunch break to catch up with your guy, to catch up with your boy, the Social Millennial over here. For those of you who are listening for the first time, we are also on YouTube. There is a visual component to this. You can head over to YouTube at Social Millennial Pod is the handle. If you're listening, you're listening. For those who don't quite gel with the various podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple, Google, etc., y'all could listen to this through the homepage, which will be linked in the description of any of the landing pages of any of the landing pages of the podcast. There will be a link there. If you want to come to the YouTube, you will find the link there too. We have a homepage that is a landing page, so you don't necessarily need any of the apps or to be subscribed or any kind of thing going on to be able to listen to this podcast completely ad free. Again, I don't think I've said it before. If y'all go to the homepage, it will be ad free. If YouTube throws some ads over the visual, it is what it is. But you can definitely listen to it there at the homepage. There will be a link in the description of wherever you're consuming this at. So maybe you don't want to use an app and you can just go to a website. Maybe you're used to that. Maybe you're of the ilk or the generation that's used to using the web as opposed to getting on your phone and pulling up Spotify or Apple Music, etc. But we've got a homepage. We've got merch. There's always a link in the description for the merch. The Patreon is not up and running yet. So if any of y'all want to support this show, support this channel, support this project, in a bigger way than just liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing, etc., reviewing, downloading, you can do that by purchasing merch. We've got shirts, we've got phone cases, we've got pillows, we've got canvas paintings, we've got mugs, we've got tumblers. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Sweatshirts, hoodies. Head on over to the link in the description again of wherever you're at, whether it's the homepage, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Spotify, Apple, Google, etc. Head on over there and enjoy. We have sales going on all the time, free shipping sometimes. So absolutely, if you believe in this project continuing and more and the rest that is going to come, because it is going to come. There will be a Patreon. We're going to be doing some really cool content. Definitely head over to the merch page and pick you up something, a little bit of something. You know, any little bit goes a long way. Again, thank y'all for spending the time, and let's get into it. I hope y'all had a great week. I had a great week. You know, did some music. I've got a project that is going to be dropping. I'm not going to announce it all the way yet, but it's a thing, music, which is great. Original stuff, original production, etc. Original production that I'm doing, because I tend to produce all of my own music and write it and record it and mix it and master it if I have to. But I've been working diligently. I'm a musical director as well, so I have a few other projects that are coming up for the Christmas time that I will be advertising and announcing here on the podcast. So if y'all are in the New York City area and y'all want to pull up to a really cool theatrical thing, I will be announcing it soon, and it's free. You don't have to pay any tickets, so you can pull up and enjoy. But yeah, getting work done, just trying to be out here in these streets, survive, get the bag. You feel me? I know we're all chasing the bag in our own ways. Yeah, I just can't complain. As a former mentor of mine said, I can't complain. I'm here breathing, here to do another episode for y'all and with y'all. Absolutely like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like this video right now, y'all. Give a heart, give a thumbs up to on whatever platform that y'all are listening to this on. Absolutely. Please review, give a comment. Let us know that you like the podcast. Even if it's a thumbs up, it's okay by us. Support is support. And that is the free part of supporting and showing us that you enjoy just having this powwow with us. So yeah, great week. We'll get into it. Let me let y'all know something. No, let me not let y'all know something. Y'all already know because y'all have lived life. Some of y'all, much more life than I've lived. But there's definitely people out there that are gonna just tag along or hop on your boat and hop on your train for the moment for what they see that they can get a benefit from you. It's a thing. And I realize there are a lot of people who do this kind of thing on purpose. And there are many others. I think the vast majority, I want to think in my heart of hearts, in my bleeding heart, that it's the vast majority of people don't know that they're doing it. And just the minority are. But yeah, the vast majority of people, I don't know if it's just become a cultural thing to do. I don't know if it's the advent of the internet that's gotten us to this place, but people will just latch on to what you're doing and to what you're doing for the purpose of enriching themselves. And to a certain extent, we ought to be enriching each other, of course. Absolutely. But yeah, it's like you endeavor to want to be closer to people or endeavor to want to establish a relationship that grows. And as you go along, you get that feeling like if I wasn't around, like if I wasn't the one reaching out or if I wasn't the one doing XYZ, you wouldn't really mess with me. And it's kind of a disheartening feeling. I've gone through it many times in my life and have found that a lot of niggas is out here just, I'm here because it's popping to be next to you. That's why I'm next to you. And if it wasn't popping, then I'm not going to be around. Like there's niggas you could go through stuff with and it just be like that. So for y'all who might be going through that, who might be taking stock of the people who are around you and kind of seeing who is here for you, who's rocking with you, who's riding with you, and starting to notice who's fake, to y'all who are listening, it's going to be all right. You're going to scorch the earth. You're going to go, listen, I'm done with this. I'm noticing all the signs. I'm seeing all the nonsense, all of the malarkey, and I gotta move. I gotta move in another direction. I gotta move in silence. I gotta retreat a little bit, and I gotta get to where I need to be. It's never. I don't think it's ever a fun thing to do. I'm a person who really gets attached to people. As much as I don't really want to be attached to people, like over the course of my life, I don't want to be this sort of like sensitive to people because of how much people have let me down. but then it's like, it's part of me. It's part of who I am, and not like a personality thing. It's just ingrained in me to care. Something drives me to care. And it's something drives me to care, and it does hurt, and it's never easy. It's never easy. I've had to change friend groups multiple times, and often, or not often, but some of the time, changing friend groups, not because I wanted to, but because I had to, or because people decided that they didn't want to rock with me no more, and just disappeared, like from the face of the earth. Wouldn't talk to me, wouldn't return my calls, and I have no idea why. So yeah, a lot of crushing defeats that I have gone through. So anybody who can identify with crushing defeats, you are not alone. You are not alone. I'm another nigga out here who's going through it, who cares too much, and has to absolutely put on some kind of secret identity and act like I don't. And act like I don't. I've had too many people take advantage of my kindness. Too many people take advantage of my mercy, my pursuit of my personal pursuit in being a merciful person and in being gracious. Definitely causes people to try to get one over on me. Definitely. And I kind of don't want to think the worst of people. I don't like to. But then I also kind of know, like, people be trash. Niggas is trash. But yeah, it's definitely people around you that are going to want to jump on you, especially when you're doing well, especially when you're hitting it, especially when you can make them money. You feel me? When you could have them eat, you know? I've been going through that too, like that part of from the business side of it. There's niggas out here that don't want to see me eat. There's niggas out here that don't think I deserve to eat. But I stay out here wanting to make sure all my peoples is eating. Want to make sure all my peoples is getting some kind of check that I can add to their coffers. But ain't nobody out here trying to add to Marcus's coffers, which is interesting. It's interesting. So another kind of soul crushing thing as I get older, and as I'm in pursuit of my goals, as I'm doing my best to stay on my purpose and not divert from it. It's not only, and this is for y'all too, it's not only that for y'all who are with me on this, it's not only that you got to stay on your purpose and fight every single day to keep doing the same thing, or to stay on, to stay the course, if you will, every single day to stay the course. You might be in a situation that you don't want to be in. You might be in a situation that you might have put yourself in. So you're feeling that kind of stress. You might be at a job that you don't want to be in. But not only do you have to compete with that stress, with that weight on your shoulders, but then the niggas around you don't make it better. They don't make it lighter. They don't make it easier. And they add to that. Because you'll divert out of your way to go think about your people. Because you got your people you have your people actively on your mind. And then the day comes where you're like, wait, there's a pattern here. I'm making it so that my people can cut checks. Like, checks can get cut for them. I'm at the very least, even if checks are not being cut, if some of y'all cannot identify with that, my people are on my mind, and I do what I can to show that they're on my mind. And you start seeing the signs, like, man, they're not really here for me. They don't really want to see me win. You feel me? I'm the kind of person that I want to see my people win. I want to see everybody win. So if you're going through it, you're in a relationship with a narcissist, and they're absolutely trying to paddle you up the river Thames. I want to see you win, king. I want to see you win, queen. You feel me? It isn't just about go on your job and kill it. It's relationship stuff too. It's interpersonal things. It's mental health things. Like, I want to see people win, because when people are winning, I want to say they're their best selves, but generally speaking, human beings tend to not be their best selves when they're winning. But at the very least, they feel free to be who they are. And I enjoy when people are able to get glimpses and tastes of that feeling. Because I've had glimpses and tastes of that, glimpses and tastes of that feeling during the course of my life, and I know it's amazing, and I know it really catapults you into new phases, into new heights, into new ways of thinking. So I like to see my people win, but niggas are not gonna want to see you win, and y'all have to log down. And it's not so much. It's not so much I'm gonna treat my relationships like a quid pro quo and tit for tat in that kind of sense. It's I'm gonna treat you right, and I'm gonna want you to win until you show me that you don't want me to win. Until you do XYZ little things that people who don't want to see me win do, my enemies do, then I'm gonna do something about it. It's a thing, because so many other religions and so many other, the universe would be like, oh, turn the other cheek, oh, pray for them, oh, this or that. No. We don't do that. We forgive, but we don't forget. The not forgetting is the idea of making sure we've gone through what we've gone through. We forgive the person or what have you. But we do not forget what happened. We do not forget how we got into that space of what happened. That's where the not forgetting comes. We don't forget so that we don't repeat our past, so that history doesn't repeat itself. We don't find ourselves in the same situation, that we might be transformed, that our minds might be renewed. So yeah, not saying don't be gracious, but for all of y'all going through, you're not alone. You're not alone. And be strong. Be strong about it, because at the end of the day, it's you who has to live within yourself. It's you who has to pass through this life. And are you going to decide to be stressed, make the decision to be stressed? Or where possible, maybe we can kind of shuffle things around and go, hey, wait, let's dissect this. Let's dissect that. We don't need this. We don't need that. We only get to go through this life once. Only get to go through this life once. But yeah, let's get into it. Some news, some interesting things. So much is going on in the world. Of course, the world is spinning. And everything is happening. All the things are happening. Everything, everywhere, all at once, kind of a deal. Not going to talk about too much governmental things. At least I don't think that I will. But let's hit space. Let's hit some science. A cool little tidbit. Again, the James Webb Telescope and a bunch of other technologies have now come together. It's like data that's like 20 years old, together with James Webb Telescope and this other technology, where an international group of scientists are able to confirm that there are star clusters in the center of our, not in the center of our Milky Way galaxy, but around the black hole that is the center of our Milky Way galaxy. Because for those who don't know, there is a black hole in the center of our galaxy. They found and been able to verify. Been able to verify that there are star clusters around the center of our galaxy that are very, very young. Very young. Hundreds of thousands of years old, which hundreds of thousands of years old by cosmic standards is a very short amount of time. It's a baby. They are baby stars. Our sun is 5 billion years old, something like that. Why this is significant is that it kind of, again, this is groundbreaking because it makes it so that we've got to start rewriting and creating new theories. Because these star clusters, it's impossible, or up to this point, it was understood that it was impossible for these kinds of stars at such a small age to be to exist around a black hole, and furthermore to exist close to the center of a galaxy that has been around for a long time. You know. So you would think the more interior you go into the galaxy, closer to the black hole in the center, that the celestial bodies would get older and older and older, because as that black hole is creating sort of those gravitational forces, and you have all of the celestial bodies beginning to encircle, that the first ones close would be, old. They're the first ones. They're the early ones. And then as you go farther out, you get younger and younger and younger. But scientists are now like rewriting theory, because it's like, how is this possible? And it's not like the first cluster. They know that there's a few clusters in that area where they're only a few 100,000 years old. Only a few 100,000. Super wild. Super wild. For my science people who get stricken with wonder at new discoveries, this is a really cool discovery. So it's super far away, and how does that affect us? Some people might say, like, oh, why do we care about that? Because that doesn't change my address. It doesn't change that I've got to pay T-Mobile. It doesn't change that I've got to pay my landlord. It doesn't change that I still have maintenance fees on my Chase account. It doesn't affect that. But the wonder of the cosmos is captivating to some. And for those who are captivated by it, here's a new discovery that's happening. It's unfolding. New science is unfolding. New theories are unfolding in our generation. Millennials, it's happening. There's so much that has been discovered, so much that has been proven, so much that has been disproven, just in our generation, which is wild. So much has been changed. New theory. I don't think I said this at the top of the episode, but for those who don't know, all of the things that we talk about in the episode are found in the description, whether you're listening, so Spotify, Apple Music. If you hit that more little baby button, I think it's more everywhere. I think that's what it says. You'll find the links that I told you about earlier, but you'll also find under the word links, you will find articles to sort of get a more in-depth analysis of the stories that we're talking about, or that I choose to talk about that interest me during the podcast. So by all means, when you're finished with the episode or midway through the episode, go ahead, hit those links and read up, y'all. Read up. I like to share the info with everyone. I like to spread the love. You feel me? You're not going to hear that story on CNN. You're not going to hear that story on Fox News, and with the with the internet the way that it is, and the myriad of articles and information that gets thrown at you, this is really a good place. This podcast is a good place to kind of throw some more things into your algorithm and have Google begin to feed you new findings and new discoveries. But yeah, so something really interesting to me. Really young stars next to a black hole, which is so strange. The gigantic black hole that is in the center of our galaxy is so strange. It's so wild. It's so fantastical. It's like where did they come from? What created these star clusters? We didn't get any kind of blips or any kind of residual artifacts of collisions of a nebula creating stars. Nothing. It's just these niggas is just existing there. So very interesting, very interesting. Now, moving on. I saw this Newsday story. I don't know if anyone else covered this from this perspective, but it was wild. It was like propaganda level trash bag. So for y'all living in New York City, like I am, we are based in New York. Podcast is from New York. We out here gang. Y'all already know what it is. 27 rings. So the census data is starting to come back from 2021, right? And what, it's like over 100,000 New Yorkers left New York during that time. Now, of course, New York, COVID is a thing. So people leave because of that. COVID was a thing that really emptied out New York City. Absolutely. And emptied out New York State. People moved. Connecticut, Jersey. People were out. But Newsday's perspective, or at least what their coverage was, by all means, please go into the description and read the article all the way. The perspective was, oh, maybe working at home was to blame. And I'm going to pause right there because y'all niggas that's in New York that y'all know what the deal is. I'm a moment of silence that. You feel me? Because these niggas here want to go, oh, New York City emptied out because people wanted to keep working from home and whatever New York City companies wanted people to come back. So that caused mad New Yorkers to leave to Connecticut, which is a more expensive state, to Connecticut and to Jersey and the surrounding states. Bugging. These niggas is bugging. Propaganda. Bugging. When you have in South Bronx, you have the South Bronx gentrifying right now. I mean, they're building luxury buildings, rezoning the South Bronx so they could build high rises like Long Island City, where the minimum requirement and the minimum earnings or income requirement that these high rises have over here that they're gentrifying is $80,000 a year for a studio, just to get your foot in the door for a studio. Mind you, across the street from the projects, $3,500, $4,000 rent for a studio across the street from the projects. And these niggas is talking about New York emptied out because people wanted to work remotely. Bugging. It's like, let's say the wrong thing, let's say the trash thing, let's say what has been cleared by the powers that be enough. Let's say it enough so that then the public consciousness and the zeitgeist can just pick it up like it's the truth. Because for real, high rises, gentrification, and it's like, who are these buildings for? Because they are still, after being built and after going up after going on the market, these rental apartments, they're still largely empty. So it's like, we look at the census data. Oh, a lot of people migrated. That's wild. We don't think they won't spread the correct information. COVID, Bidenomics, that nigga, Bidenomics, the inflation problem, property taxes going up. They won't say none of that. They won't say that the cost of living it's been untenable in New York City for a long time, but it's even more so untenable. Like it's crazy untenable. Now, of course, we have all of our conspiracy theories that the powers that be are trying to shrink the middle class. They're trying to get rid of the middle class, and that we just have a sort of Marxist bourgeoisie proletariat class war. So you kill the middle class, get the people to be impoverished under the poverty line, and it's really just people who are really poor or broke, living from paycheck to paycheck, and niggas who's making $200,000 a year, and there's nothing in between. Because if you're in between, you can't afford an apartment on your own. You can't afford a nice place to live, a decent place to live, if you're making $50,000 a year, because $50,000 a year makes it so that you don't even qualify for affordable housing. So if you're in the middle, you don't qualify for affordable housing, and you don't qualify for a studio apartment in a nice building that they just built in a new construction. Wild. But niggas left New York because of work from home, not because Eric Adams and Hochul, not because the migrant problem. Eric Adams went down to the border to tell these niggas stop coming. That ain't stopping nobody. That ain't stopping nobody. Where's Biden at the border? Where's Biden shutting down the border? Lock it down. Nowhere. Remember, ghost voting body. They're trying to get people to work. It's kind of starting to happen. Oh, I didn't even report on that. I'm not even saying anything about that story. Oh my gosh, that's got to be another episode. I'll go over it super quick, but I really want to talk about it. They're talking about Biden gave a special protected status to Venezuelans coming across the border, just off a whim, with not ready, nothing to receive them, to give them that. So back at the ranch, New York City, who's basically a border town at this point, they're already overloaded. The border services, citizenship, already overloaded the federal offices, because it's only like 70 people working there, already overloaded. They haven't been taking the data that they're supposed to be taking anyway for the people coming in. So mad heads are just, talk about undocumented. We don't know where they're from. We don't know who they are. We don't know why they came here. Nothing. So then Biden wants to say, to protect the status to Venezuelans. And there's no protocol or infrastructure set up for that, with people already who have given asylum, their asylum applications, that now have to wait six months just to even apply for the protected status. Like, it's trash. We don't yet have a real accurate number of people who cross the border who are eligible to work in New York City. They're trying to get them to work. Remember, I told y'all, ghost voting body. Everyone who has, at this point, according to the federal in New York City, almost everyone who has applied for work permit have been denied. And I'm telling you, like I told you, there are plenty of migrants who are not going to prescribe to putting themselves into the system to be tracked and so on. So it was like 800 people that did applications to actually get a permit to work out of the 100,000 that came through here. Crazy. And they all got rejected. Crazy. But I'm not going to go too much into it. That's a whole rant that I want to save for like a half of a whole other episode. But yeah, and I said I wasn't going to talk about government too much, or talk about government at all, but here we are. But yeah, so they're really, don't believe the hype, don't believe the propaganda, really get your news from a lot of different places, people, because at this point it is very, very much so clear that our mainstream media is an arm of the federal government. There are barking orders There are marching orders that get given to the top of the top of mainstream media that then trickles down into, okay, what's the spin on this story? What are we supposed to spin this to? What's the perspective that we're supposed to take? Instead of just reporting to us what's going on, it's editorialized. Everything you see in mainstream media is editorialized. It doesn't matter if you're watching Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, it's editorialized. So definitely, y'all, jump into independent media, really grab hold of a lot of different stories. So like if you know Fox News is covering something, you know MSNBC is covering something, and CNN is covering something, the real story is somewhere in there without all of the political feeling and leaning, etc. Because right now we have a whole other Biden thing going on with his brother essentially using the Biden name for clout. It's essentially exposing corruption. But nobody's talking too crazy about it yet. And Biden's under investigation and no one's talking wild about it because the oversight committee on ethics, Biden and his lawyers, etc., sort of like didn't hand in discovery the stuff that they were supposed to hand in. Like they hopped over a bunch of months and a bunch of days and a bunch of phone records, etc. But nobody's really talking about it. And when they do talk about it, in the articles and in the news, they're coloring it like it's all the Republican, the GOP ethics committee. They just call it a GOP-led panel. They call the official federal ethics committee a GOP panel to diminish that there's actually some serious stuff happening with Biden and malarkey and nonsense that there's cause for investigation. It is a bipartisan committee. It's existed for forever to keep the branches of government accountable. But because the leader of it, this political go around is a Republican, it's a GOP panel. Let's minimize it. Let's make it like it's not. It's just a GOP panel. Don't tell them that it's the ethics committee that takes to task all the branches of government to make sure that they're not on some nonsense, on some corruption. Let's not say that. Let's say GOP panel, a GOP-led panel. Let's try to paint it in the light of, oh, this is just the Republicans. It's just a witch hunt, even though the committee has Democrats on it. But yeah, so it's wild, y'all. It's wild, y'all. So moving on, finally, last but not least, this strike is happening. Actors were on strike, etc. The AMPTP is supposed to be coming back to the table again, and which is great. I really hope that this time it works out. I'm not. My hopes are not high. But this is a great time to shuffle things around for the studios. Marvel / Disney, because it's Disney as well, have taken stock of sort of the trash, the box office bombs that they've been putting out consistently. At this point, it's consistent. Whether it's the animation department, whether it's Star Wars, whether it's Marvel, it's now been consistent underperforming. And by a lot, because Marvel as a studio and Disney lost a lot of money on Ant-Man. And they stand to lose a whole lot of money on Captain Marvel. Even though I want to see the movie, even though I'm kind of happy or excited about it, the back of my mind, I kind of know that they're probably going to mess it up. They're probably going to mess it up. We've had so much reshoots. I mean, it was in production hell. So much fighting, so much disillusionment, and so on the set. So many changes, COVID happening. You know, they're dealing with a main character, a titular character that they kind of messed up right out the gate. So audience isn't really invested, isn't really connected. The market projections right now for Captain Marvel is abysmal. I mean, 50 million. Right now, most of the analysts do not even think it's going to break 100 million domestically. It's gonna open in China, so it seems like it's already gotten cleared to open in China, so that should help it in terms of box office. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is the last time that we see Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. She's gone through it. Now I'm not gonna go into too much detail there. So I'm gonna talk about Marvel as a whole, Disney as a whole. The most recent retool, because they had before announced that the Blade movie that was going to go into production, that had paused because of COVID, and is now pausing because of the strike. I mean, pre-production done, everything. Mahershala Ali was going to be Blade. They said, we're taking all the pre-production and throwing it in the trash, the script, and we're starting over again from scratch, creatively starting over again. That was that. Then Ant-Man and the Wasp came out, and now it's Daredevil. So they had said that the Echo series, for those of you who don't know and who didn't watch Hawkeye, the Hawkeye show on Disney Plus, go and watch it. I kind of like it. No one really talks about it, but I like it. I thought it was really cool. It was a really great way to introduce new characters. Echo is a character, a deaf character in that show. She was going to get her own show, which I thought was ludicrous at the time that they announced it. I thought it made no sense. I had no interest in the character really, from how they depicted the character in the show. How small of a character it was, just a whole nothing burger. Just wasn't interested. I wasn't interested, and she didn't seem interesting based on how they served the character to us. But they were like, oh, we're gonna do a whole series. So I'm like, okay, let's see where that goes. So it came out a while ago. This is a while ago that Echo was in filming. Filming was rough or something. They looked at the footage and they condensed it. It was going to be like 8 episodes. They condensed it to like 4, like some kind of mini series. But never, I don't think they had given it a date. They changed the dates and then didn't give Echo a date. But the most recent changes now to another IP is Daredevil. Daredevil was, I believe it's going to be called Daredevil Born Again, or it was going to be called that. They got so far into filming before the strike, they had like 3-4 episodes already filmed. And they watched it, and that's during like the strike where nothing's happening. So the execs, etc., sat down, watched what they had, and said, nope, we're going to do what we do with Blade, wipe everything clean. Even though they had a bunch of full episodes already filmed, everything creatively, the scripts, all of it gone. We're going to start again. They said it was kind of not cool because, or one of the things that were stated was that it was meant to be like a procedural, instead of like a superhero kind of thing. And Daredevil didn't even put on the suit until like the 4th episode in, and it was very actionless, not full of really cool choreography, not full of really engaging set pieces like there were in the Netflix one, because the Netflix series is beloved. I mean, all they have to do is just continue doing that style, and that's it. So it seems like they weren't doing that style, and Kevin Feige, the execs, were like, nah, this isn't gonna work. It's not gonna work. Everybody's, in good spirits though. They're in good spirits. It's just they wipe the slate clean. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting turn of events. It seems like Marvel is retooling the storyline, the arc for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That it's not going to quite happen the way that it was originally intended. They're They're gonna figure out other ways, especially in this COVID happened, this time of the strike. Phase 4 was just up, down, left, and right. No continuity, no connectedness the way that there should have been. I mean, we haven't seen characters for years at this point. Shang-Chi has disappeared. We don't know what's going on with that plot line. He hasn't appeared anywhere else. It's just a whole mess. A whole cluster. But I'm glad that they're taking this time to sit back and retool. I haven't seen the Loki series. If any of y'all have seen it, please comment below. Let me know if it's worth seeing. I'm trying to wait till the whole thing comes out so I can binge watch it. That's another bit of news too with Marvel in terms of the retooling. Their shows, like what they're going to do with Marvel on Disney Plus, is they're looking to, in light of wiping Daredevil clean, probably Echo's gone, because if the Daredevil storyline is gonna change, then that's probably gonna be gone, because Echo intertwines with the Kingpin, with Daredevil, etc., with the ground level stuff. That they're gonna switch over from doing the Netflix thing, the streaming service thing, 8 episodes, 10 episodes, everything gets released, you get to watch it, and that's it. They're gonna try to go to a TV format, network television format for their shows. Now they said the statement was that they want to dive deeper into the characters, right? That's why that they're switching over. Now I know that's malarkey. I know that that's BS. You're able to drive streaming numbers drive more streaming numbers, more views, more eyes if you piecemeal the episodes. That's why network television does it that way. We piecemeal it, 25, 30 episodes a season, so that people can keep coming to the channel at that time so that they can watch the advertisements. So piecing it out, I mean, we're not deep diving into these characters. That's just not what's going to happen. We're going to get watered down episodes where nothing happens, filler. But yeah, they're trying to retool, trying to mess with that, with the revenue, with the numbers, especially because of the Writers Guild royalties changes, because they had a deal. They're gonna have to start in part revealing what the earnings are of the streaming, revealing what the royalties or what the accruing of income is from the series that the writers work on, so that they can get their just royalties. So in light of that, they've got to start developing it out, because I would think, I wouldn't put it past them, that they've been sort of fudging the numbers with the streaming revenue and the success of streaming. It doesn't seem like it's a very successful business model, streaming. But yeah, they're gonna be piecemealing out shows, 20 episodes, one every week, whatever, to get more people to keep coming back to the Disney Plus app and to the Hulu app. I would not be surprised if in the near future they're gonna just fuse Disney Plus and Hulu together, and this is gonna be one thing. And they're also changing the structure, they're changing the leadership structure of the shows and bringing in, like, turning it into a format of a network television show. So they're creating a TV division in Marvel, where Marvel will have TV executives over the TV division, so that the studio is not sort of like keeping all of the plates spinning at the same time, having to deal with the production of the films and the production of the shows, and make sure everything is top notch. You now have execs over that. You have execs over here, and probably Kevin Feige is just at the top of that, so that Feige doesn't have to get pulled in 7 different directions. So they're gonna have a showrunner, etc., for each of the shows. With this retooling, like I said, we're probably going to get watered down content. I don't know how many of y'all are still on the Marvel bandwagon. I know a lot of people that I know have hopped off of it since Infinity War. They just did not come back after Infinity War with anything that's, that's a punch to the face. You know, everything was meh except Spider-Man No Way Home. And I tend to agree. The films after the Infinity Saga were all very meh. They were there. With no real continuity, with no real good writing, you know, all of this other political messaging trying to get injected into it at the expense of the characters and the characterizations and plot. You know, it is what it is. You know, Marvel was once riding high and a cash cow for Disney, unifying fan bases as opposed to Star Wars that was dividing fan bases. It's just not so now. And it seems like they're getting it together, seeing that it's hurting their investors' pockets. And that's really where it needs to be at. They need to lose money from a business sense, because at the end of the day, it's about the numbers crunchers. It's about the coin guys. It's about the bottom lines. It's about the corporate bonuses. It's about the investor revenue, investor royalties, and so on and so forth. Investor payouts. It's really all about that. They create this content for that purpose. So in order for them to really, really take an about face or take a left turn to really turn away from what they've been doing, it's got to hit the pocketbook. It's got to hit the stock price, stock value. It's got to hit those margins to then go, okay. So injecting homosexuality into a lot of our children's content it's not creating classic rewatchable properties. Oh, okay. They're bombing. Okay. All right. We have to kind of throw a propaganda engine into some of these films to kind of spin the story so that it seems like it's doing well. It did good. Okay, we can't afford to keep putting out that extra amount of money in payouts and in advertising to spin the movie after the fact so that it looks like it's successful. We don't have enough money. We already spent hundreds of millions of dollars in advertising already. So hopefully we'll get some content that is worthwhile, and it'll probably won't be the first thing. It'll probably be like the third thing that's good that will get people to come back. Because right now this Kang storyline is not. They should have never done multiverse. Multiverse was stupid. It was dumb. Kevin Feige, what is wrong with you? You did so well in Infinity Saga. You had all this stuff planned out. Where is the guy who had the whole thing around his office of everything that was planned for 10 years? Like, where's that guy? He's disappeared because it's been trash after trash. She-Hulk was trash. Miss Marvel was trash. And it had no reason to be trash. They should have been fire. I saw Miss Marvel. I wanted it to be fire. I saw She-Hulk. I wanted She-Hulk to be fire. I was watching it for the purpose of it being heat. Like, please be heat. And it just wasn't. I couldn't find heat in it. I sifted. Maybe it's good because no, it was just trash. Trash after trash after trash. Hawkeye was okay. Loki was good. WandaVision, it was trash at the end. They messed it up. Like the last quarter was trash. So yeah, we'll see some good content come from them though. Eventually. But yeah, so thank you all for spending this time. I hope whether you're on your workout, whether you're on your morning commute, that you don't regret the time that you spent. You feel me? Please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what y'all think about these stories and the goings on that I like to share. Let me know what y'all think about the things that I share about just life. If you agree, if you disagree, let me know. If you like the podcast, let us know. If you don't like the podcast, let us know. You want to say Marcus's podcast is trash. Why are you doing this? Throw it in the comments. Throw it in there. We'd love to hear from you. All right, y'all. Again, we're on Spotify, Apple, Google. We're Visual Component on YouTube. There is a homepage, landing page where you can get the audio uncommercialized, just straight from the source. You don't have to go through Spotify or anything. Links will be down in the description. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much. So much is going on in this world. Do not be afraid. All right. The Lord did not make us with a spirit of fear. All right. You're going to make it. You are strong. You are powerful. You got it. You're in here. We're here. You're getting the bag. You're going to get the bag, and you're going to get more bags. All right. Have a great week. Thank y'all. Peace.